Hello, welcome back to episode 22 of WCATChats. I'm Nathan Rongju. Alongside me is Palmer Ruth, and today we have a special guest, Anyssa. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you guys so much.
So, today, your last week.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
A lot of fun events that have been up this week. Can you tell us a little bit about those events and what you've done personally?
So we've had, Monday was Alter Ego Day, and so I dressed up as my cheer coach, which was pretty funny. But there were a lot of good outfits. And then yesterday we had Kindergarten Day, so everyone kind of dressed up in where they went to school before Westminster, and there were bubbles on Spatio, and that was a lot of fun. And then today we have College Teacher Day, and on Spatio right now everyone has their dogs, which is a lot of fun. So everyone's just kind of like getting together. And then there's actually like a senior surprise, not a prank because we can't call it a prank, but little senior surprise happening today. And then tomorrow is our last day, so mudslide and all that, and then fun.
Wow, I mean, just such an exciting way to go out with a bang. You know, looking back at your past 4 years here in the high school, do you have any favorite moments or, I mean, that's a broad, lots of moments, I'm sure, but just to kind of walk us through some of your favorite memories here.
I wouldn't say I have like a favorite moment, but I would definitely say there's been good moments we've had as a grade, speaking as like a member or as a spokesperson for the class of 2023. I think we started our freshman year, half of it online, as y'all did your 7th grade year, and then obviously our sophomore year we had COVID testing, and then last year was still kind of, in the air, and so this year is our first like real year in high school where we haven't had to do any of the COVID procedures, which has been, honestly, I don't think any of us knew what to expect because we had never had a year full of high school. But I would say one of the best moments we had as a grade was our freshman year. We had a assembly on Zoom, and Miss Harless she did her Ice Ice Baby rap over Zoom, and that was pretty funny. And no one saw it coming, but it was a lot of fun.
So you got to see it once over Zoom and then once in person this year as well. So you got to see both sides of it.
She actually did it at prom last year too, so I've seen it 3 times.
Wow. So high school memories, that's that. Middle school memories. Have you had any big middle school memories going back in the years?
My middle school experience was literally terrible. Like, I hated middle school. I will forever hate middle school. But I would say, I don't know. Oh, there was one time in Senior Oyo's office. I don't know why we did this, but we thought it would be funny to trap like a bird in his office. I don't know if y'all heard about that, but there was that, and that was the same day that we all got busted for like the LS Access thing.
That was hilarious.
So that was a big day for our grade, and we were in 8th grade, so they were pretty worried about like what our high school was going to look like because we were just being a little rowdy that day, but it was pretty fun. It was definitely, he was really upset. He was like yelling in Spanish. He was because he didn't want to go into his office. He didn't know what to do with the bird. Like, he didn't want it to die. It was a lot of fun.
Are we taking it back even further, all the way back to elementary
Let's do it.
school?
Elementary school, I don't know. Like, I barely even remember it. There was one day in my 5th grade where our classroom got trashed. Like, someone just came in and just like totally wrecked the whole thing when we were at recess, and then we came back from lunch and it was just like a mess everywhere. And our teacher actually that year quit because of just, I don't know if it was that, but she definitely had enough. We actually wrote letters to our senior selves our fifth grade year. I haven't gotten mine yet. I don't know if that's coming or what, but I do remember doing that. And then I would say, the Christmas pageant, that was always something.
I loved the Christmas pageant.
Yeah, that was a good thing. My 5th grade year, I was the queen.
Wow. Wait, the queen?
Yeah, so there was no Asian boys in their grade, so instead of having an Asian king, they had an Asian queen, and they've never had one since, but that was pretty insane.
First and the last.
Kind of a celebrity.
You either did such a good job no one could top it, or such a bad job they decided to stop it.
I think there were some people who were definitely like, this is not traditional, and very upset. But it was pretty cool. That was an awesome moment, definitely.
So, not past your school years, let's go a little more to extracurriculars throughout your high school years. Has there been any, other than WCAT, I mean, of course, everyone loves WCAT, but have there been any like special extracurriculars that have really stood out to you that you enjoyed doing personally?
Obviously WCAT. I'm going to school for hopefully like communications journalism. So that's been a huge part of kind of who I am today. I would say cheerleading has been a lot of fun. All 4 years of high school, I've been able to be on the sidelines for both football and basketball. So that has been definitely a big part of my high school career. It's obviously cheer, so it's not, super crazy or anything, but the girls and the team and then just like the environment, getting to be on the sidelines has been a lot of fun. And then I would also say I don't like hobbies and extracurriculars. I wouldn't say the hobby or extracurricular specifically, but the people that you meet through doing all these different things. Even WCAT, like I've just gotten to meet so many different people that I wouldn't have talked to, and so that has been a really cool part of my Westminster experience outside of the classroom.
And then how would you, tough question, they all are, but how would you say almost Westminster shaped you as a person?
Oh God. I think we had to write a valedictorian speech every senior did. And so I was kind of reflecting on like Westminster and kind of its whole philosophy. And there was one senior meeting that we were sitting in one day, and there was a speaker, and there was this one girl who asked a question, and it was like, what would you change about Westminster? And the speaker was like, something about like traditional values or something. And then he turned the question back on the girl, and he was like, what would you change? And she said, I would change the emphasis on perfectionism. And then the guy was like, well, actually, I don't agree with you, because I think there has to be a school that has to be the best. And if it's not Westminster, it's going to be somewhere else. And I think that I remember just sitting there shocked, first of all, that he even turned the question back on her. And second of all, shocked because I'd never thought of it that way. I think a lot of times we all feel the pressure, whether it's in sports or in the classroom. And I think it shaped me as a person because it's made me realize that obviously it's going to be hard wherever you are. And so we've been lucky to be in this, amazing environment where we are given so many opportunities, but we also have to rise to that challenge. And I think it's going to help me forward in my life when I realize, when there's hardships, and I'm just gonna have to revert back to that mindset of high school and middle school where it's just like you gotta push through it because someone has to be the best.
Yeah, like you said, balancing the extracurriculars along with school and everything like that. We've asked this question, I think, to everyone, almost everyone that's come on, post-grad and our current students here.
Okay.
How do you balance schoolwork and your school life? I mean, your extracurriculars, because some people say Quizlets, some people say
they don't worry about the school with
exactly.
work.
So what would you say?
I think personally I found a very good balance for myself, and that's just I live on like a very like work hard, play hard mentality. So I just work very hard during the week, and then on the weekends I allow myself to like relax a little bit. But there's something about having to go through that kind of process of finding the balance that almost makes it better, because you can't just kind of go into it expecting that it's going to work out. And I would honestly say like the process, especially throughout middle school, because that's when I was kind of working the most to find that balance, is kind of what shaped me the most, because I've been able to find what works for me. I would say I watch a lot of YouTube videos, like in the sense that my teachers, they're amazing, but anything I don't understand, I'm on YouTube, like the next second, and I'm watching like 7 videos, taking notes and using all of those different strategies to learn something, acronyms or like math, strategies, putting them together and then making kind of like my own study plan, because sometimes my teachers just aren't like, it's just not gonna fit with me. And so I would say YouTube, which is terrible. Like, I don't know if that's like what you were asking, but even till last night, like how I study for everything is probably going to be via YouTube video.
I'm going to need to try that out soon in the future.
Yeah, Palmer, you do. And then going to, like you said, your teachers, do you have a favorite teacher? Did you have a favorite teacher, middle school, elementary, high school?
This is really, okay. I've had a couple. I really liked my freshman year, Mr. Momberg, for physics. I was so bad at physics, so bad at physics, but he was really good about just sitting with me and just helping me do it. And he's also just hilarious. My junior year, I really enjoyed Miss DE for AP Euro. She was also my cheer coach my sophomore year, and she taught my history class my freshman year, so I got a very good bond with her. And then I think I try to create a relationship with all my teachers that's, pretty solid, especially junior year. I would say to you guys going in, teacher recommendations are huge. Like, I think people sleep on the emphasis that teacher recommendations have for your college process. In fact, I would even go so far as to say that is the reason that I got into Vanderbilt, because you can write all you want. You can do whatever you want. But if a school reads a recommendation from somebody that has credentials, and they might even know, and it says, you should take this kid, then they're going to listen to the teacher, obviously. That's just like my philosophy. So I would say teacher relationships are crucial.
And then going off to Vandy for the next 4 years, what do you like about Vanderbilt, and what made you choose that?
I think back to like the work-life balance question. That was pretty big for me, being able to have a school where it's academically rigorous, but it's in Nashville, and there's lots to do, and I can be able to not just have to solely be focused on school. That was really important to me. I really wanted to be in a city, and that was the place for me, I guess.
Yeah, Nashville's a great city. You got, let's see, what's some highlights of Nashville that we can go over?
Obviously Broadway, the street with all the...
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got SEC school, so
Right.
Sports.
Right.
Country Music Hall of Fame, Grand Ole
yeah.
Opry, all the great stuff.
Yeah.
If you're a big country person.
I'm trying to get into more music, so that's kind of how I'm trying to adjust.
So for favorite teacher, favorite class, do you have a favorite class?
I really enjoy my Spanish film class that I'm taking right now, probably because it's the easiest class I've ever taken. But in terms of like classes that I would be really excited to go home and learn more about or continue my like learning process, I really enjoyed AP Euro actually, because I would kind of learn what we were learning, and then I'd go home and like watch a movie set during that time period or like about that time period. And that was always really interesting for me to kind of fuse the two together, and I would be able to kind of know more about what's going on in the background, and so that was always really interesting for me.
And then Palmer's going into AP Euro next year. So
You're
not taking AP Euro next year?
Oh, no, I am too. I'm just saying you are as well.
Why did you do it like
Why would you?
Palmer's excited for AP Euro, I know that.
Are you nervous?
I'm a history person, I feel
Oh,
like,
okay.
so not really.
Palmer he'll just randomly blurt out a history fact. He's that kind of guy.
Oh, there's a guy in my grade that's like that. I won't drop names.
Again, so this week you've had up to a lot of weeks with a lot of events. Did you have a favorite one, or do you have a favorite one coming up? Because I know today's Wednesday and you have one more day, but
I don't know, like a favorite tradition. I think the mudslide's really fun. I really enjoy last year getting to see all the seniors slide down, and then getting to be with all of them, and it's just like that is the moment you're done, and you just kind of feel the joy because it's 13 years or whatever. For me, it'll be 13 years of hard work kind of coming to an end. Obviously commencement, big one. And then I would say, I don't know, I think just like yesterday we had our last senior meeting as a homeroom together, and we had some senior talks, and I don't know if y'all know what that is, but basically as a senior you can sign up to just speak for like 5 minutes, and it's really, really like nerve-wracking. I didn't do it, but it was all the speakers yesterday talked about their time at Westminster, and then tips and just kind of reflections, and that was really, I think that was the moment for a lot of people where it kind of hit that we're never going to be back here. or not like that, but we're never going to be sitting like in rows being forced to listen, We're never going to be required to be here. And so, yeah, that was a pretty cool moment.
So looking back, would you change anything if you could?
Some people have asked me this question in the past couple weeks, and I think, I don't know, because I think a lot of what it comes down to in life is that you have to go through the things that you went through to get to where you are today. And so I'm obviously leaving Westminster very happy about who I am and where I'm leaving. And I worry that if I were to change anything, I wouldn't be that person anymore. And so I would say no, but honestly, there's definitely some things that I maybe would change. But for the grand scheme of things, I think a lot of the bad times that I went through kind of made for so much good.
Mm-hmm. Is it in your last week? I was talking to someone else wondering about this. Are some of the teachers like trying to cram in work, or are they just, oh, let's watch a movie today, or is it?
So yesterday I had my last test, but we definitely are still working. For all AP math classes, you have to take a mock AP exam. So I guess they're trying to do it as close to when the test is as possible so that you don't forget anything.
Mm-hmm.
But that means that they're all this week because there would be no other time to take it. So that's been kind of like a wake-up call a little bit because those do count. And then we do have some English projects, but those have been a little bit more like reflective. But they're being okay. It's not too bad.
And then if you had to give some advice to some incoming freshmen, maybe a younger you, what would you give?
Okay. I would say an incoming freshman. There's a lot, but the main thing I would say is don't be afraid to don't be afraid to try new things. If I hadn't tried WCAT, I wouldn't even probably wouldn't be going to the same school that I'm going to. If I hadn't, done anything close to what I do, I wouldn't be who I am. And I would say, don't be afraid to be yourself. You're not taking up too much space. You're never, laughing too loud or talking too much. And that's okay. I don't know. I got to format that better, but along the lines of that.
Okay. Now I'm going to go a little bit of quick fire Westminster, just like stuff about Westminster.
Okay.
So what's your favorite hangout or study spot on campus?
The library to study, hang out, patio.
Okay. What's your favorite flick meal?
The firecracker chicken.
Do you have a favorite barge meal item?
Caramel macchiato, hot.
Do you have a favorite football theme?
Red, white, and blue.
Favorite sports event to go watch other than football?
Girls soccer.
Do you have a favorite just school tradition?
The pigskin picnic.
Favorite day of the week?
Friday.
Favorite thing to do in Atlanta?
I would say Ellis Tecca.
Favorite Westminster building?
Campbell.
We were making
No,
up those on the
you're good.
spot.
That was good.
So wait, what is LS Taco like a Mexican
Just
place
a
or
Mexican
is it?
place.
Okay.
Just like
I need
a
to
lot
try
of people
that
go
out.
and hang out. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for coming on. We had a
Oh
great
my gosh,
time.
that's it.
Yeah.
We can do-
I mean,
no,
if you want to
it's
keep.
good. No,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of
Go
you
see
guys.
the dogs.
I've been eager to get on this podcast, so I'm so happy that I got to do it. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you. It was great.
Yeah, thank you
Good
so
luck
much.
next year
Yep.
and the year after. You guys are gonna do great. Keep WCAT going, okay?
Of course.
We'll keep it alive.
Don't let it die, especially after FIFO leaves and Gideon. That's the big fear.
It's
Yeah.
okay. We have Buckley and Roberts, so I
That's true.
think we'll be
Robert
okay.
Love.
Thank you so much for having you, Anyssa. So now let's get into some Westminster sports. So baseball, they played in the first round of the playoffs Monday versus Stockbridge, and they were able to win the first two games 11-2 and then 4-3 to advance to round 2 of the GHSA state playoffs for the first time since 2019.
Yeah, in both games, they used two pitchers. In game one, it was our sophomore stars. We had Calvin McBurney and fellow host Alex Carr. And then in game two, we had Bobby Yarbrough and Carter Barth lead the way on the bump for two strong wins and letting the Wildcats make it to the second round of the playoffs, where they will face, like you said, Stockbridge on Saturday.
Nope, they're going to play Cedar Grove
on Saturday. And then boys lacrosse, they had a bye in the first round, so they will play their first home game on Friday night.
Cedartown.
Cedartown.
Make sure to tune in on that one on NFHS. I will personally be making the drive up to Cedartown, so watch.
Have fun with that, Palmer. And then on Friday night, boys lax, so make sure to tune in on WCAT. And then the girls lacrosse team also had a first bye round, so they will also play their first game. But it is today, so tune into WCAT for that as well. And boys soccer, I know Palmer's at that game last night, commentating it up. And we won over LaGrange 7-2, and we will play Benedictine next in the next round.
Yeah, it was a great game versus LaGrange, dominant both sides, offense and defense, and, able to keep on advancing. And now we're in the semifinals, so great to see there for the guys.
Yeah, and the girls soccer team, Juggernaut, they play Love It at home today, so it'll be a little bit of a flu game, so make sure to come out and support.
Today, Thursday.
Thursday's tomorrow.
It is. Today's Wednesday.
Exactly. Boys tennis, they won their match last Friday, which was the second round of the playoffs, 5-0 Mafia, I believe, and the girls tennis did the same against Cherokee Bluff.
I mean, just fantastic to see. They're just so dominant of a program. And then moving over to the track team, currently in the midst of region. First day of the meet was yesterday. Next day is tomorrow. And, you know, you go regions, then sectionals, then state. So they're making their march there. Then moving over to the crew, their next regatta is going to be May 6th. I don't know if we covered their last regatta, which was up in Chattanooga, but, you know, did well against the Baylor 4, which was good to see. And, you know, the Baylor 8 was mixed, so didn't do great against them. But the crew team so far off to a good start. And now some Atlanta sports. The Hawks won a thriller.
What a game last night. They are still losing the series 3-2, but it was a great game yesterday with a great play by Trey Young to ice out the game. Ice Trey ended up the game with 38 points, 13 assists to lead the way for the Hawks. And DeJounte Murray was out. So that'll be a positive when the game comes back to Atlanta this Thursday at home. Go out, support. Of course, after you support your Westminster sports. But
of course. Did you see for that game, or for Thursday, State Farm Arena already had an event planned that they had to move to Friday. A Janet Jackson
double-booked the concert.
You know, famous for that Super Bowl mishap.
Yeah.
And then some other Atlanta sports.
The Braves.
Braves doing really well. You know, last night they were able to beat the Marlins 7-4. And then the night before, Strider shoved, which is fantastic to see. I mean, Atlanta sports, things are looking good.
They're looking well right now. Braves are 16-8 on top of the NL East, one of the best records in the MLB, and then looking to make a push into the playoffs as we see the Hawks do. And I remember a few years ago where it was the Braves would win, the Hawks would lose. The Hawks would win, the Braves would lose.
2021.
Exactly, but yesterday, they both won. So hopefully that's a little bit of a Atlanta curse being broken.
And then, speaking of the Falcons, NFL draft is Thursday. Who do you want the Falcons to be taking with their first pick?
I don't know, man. The Falcons drafts, they've always been in a spot that's where it's not really clear what they want to do. And I know I was just really excited when I saw that the Packers had traded away Aaron Rodgers.
I was excited as well as a Packers fan. Get rid of that guy.
Yeah, I know. I know Palmer really is not a fan of the Packers. So
what?
That was a joke. He's a big fan of the Packers.
Go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go, as they say. And again, so that's it for sports. Thank you, Anyssa, for coming on. We had a great time today. Episode 22 of WCAT Chats. I'm Nathan Rogers. This is Palmer Ruth. And you just watched WCAT Chats. Thank you, and go Cats.